Everything matters. How we wake up, how we dress, how we eat, how we meet, how we train, how we practice, how we rehab, how we recover, how we treat one another, how we treat everyone.
Second half, that's our style. That's what we represent. Showing that fight, showing your urgency, showing the effort, the technique, and the violence that we stand for, guys.
Welcome to Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh. Here is your host, Eric Allen.
It's week 5, Jets, Dolphins this afternoon at MetLife Stadium. Eric Allen, Bart Scott, Eric Coleman. Coming up, we're going to hear from Cynthia Freeland, Brian Baldinger, and we'll have the morning tea with Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg. Bart, how are you feeling about these Jets after 4 games now, 2-2?
You know how I like my filet of fish? With sauce. I tell you what, I'm excited about the young rookie prospects. I'm excited about this team. I think it's a lot of positive energy. It was a lot to be learned from the Cleveland game, coming into the Bengals game and kind of not showing up. I think this young team learned a valuable lesson early in the season, and I think they come out at home against a divisional opponent and they put on a show.
What are you most excited about, E, when you take a look at this Jets team that has shown a lot of resolve?
Oh, I love it. I love the grit of this team. They fight hard. They're nasty. They play with a lot of attitude and effort. You can't coach that. You know, that's just in you. You know, they brought in the right guys. They have the young players that bring the fight. Zach Wilson had a great performance. I think he's a great leader for this team, and a lot of the players take from his play.
E, what will this do for the young quarterback moving forward?
Oh, this is going to do nothing but give him confidence. I mean, to come into a hostile environment, week 1 of your season, to see your team respond the way they did, it's going to do nothing but help Zach Wilson. He showed a lot of grit. He showed a lot of toughness in the game. He's accurate. He's confident. He's a great gunslinger. And orchestrating that fourth quarter comeback is going to do a lot for his confidence moving forward, knowing that when we're backed up against the wall, we can fight our way out of it and come out with the win.
Robert Saleh is trying to instill a culture here.
Yeah.
What about Elijah Vera Tucker? This guy has been asked to do everything this season, asked to move from left guard to right guard in offseason. He said, sign me up, I'm good with that. Then last week against the Steelers, he's moved over to left tackle, and he performed so well.
I mean, I thought I was watching Remember the Titans, left side, strong side, right? You talk about going to tackle, having that type of versatility to be able to play interior lineman, but also, go out and put yourself on the island and have the toughness, but also the football acumen to be able to pick up the blocking schemes, and also the rushing schemes, and being able to read the fronts from a different perspective. I mean, that just shows just his football acumen, his talent, and just his ability to be a Swiss Army knife for this team. I think, in the future, they're going to have to address him at a very short clip. He's going to be one of the best, offensive linemen in the games. You talk about a Pro Bowl bid. I mean, you talk about an All-Pro bid. I mean, being able to have that flexibility, move inside and outside. Not a lot of guys in this league can do that.
Coming up, we'll go one-on-one with Jets head coach Robert Saleh. But here's Cynthia Freeland with more on Zach Wilson.
This is Maximum Altitude with Cynthia Freeland, brought to you by NFL All Day.
Zach Wilson is back, and we got to see him gritty after becoming the first quarterback in Jets history to score a receiving touchdown last week in Pittsburgh. While it's unlikely that we see him catching touchdown passes very often, we did see 2 areas signaling improvement over his 2021 campaign, even in the small sample size of 1 game. The first was on intermediate passes. These 10 to 19 air yard attempts were an area where he threw just 1 touchdown pass with 8 interceptions in his 13-game rookie campaign. But against the Steelers last week, he went 8 of 9 for 170 yards. The second was using quick passes. These are throws that leave his hands in less than 2.5 seconds. Wilson went 7 of 11 for 84 yards and threw a touchdown on a quick pass in week 4. Executing quick passes proficiently is a signal of understanding and communicating the play, and a good way to escape pressure. Let's see how Wilson does today against the Finns.
Don't go away. We're going inside the walls with Coach Saleh right after this.
What do you know about your team, the New York Jets, after 4 games?
Resilient. It was a great challenge, and just to see our guys fight every single game. And the one thing that I've learned is that this team's not going to quit.
How different was the locker room in Pittsburgh versus the locker room in Cleveland?
For me, the Cleveland game obviously was one of those like, holy cow, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh game was a really cool game because that's the NFL. You start, it was awesome that we started fast. It's the first time we had all season in terms of getting an early lead. And when you look at the second quarter and then even the way the first half ended, rather than it being 13-3, possibly 17-3, it's 10-6. People are a little upset going into the locker room trying to recapture everyone, and then they come out and bring in their rookie quarterback, and here comes the crowd, and here comes this new juice for the team. You're trying to weather that storm, and they scurry out to a 10-point lead, and it's like, God, how do you? Then they play Renegade to start the fourth quarter, right? And then usually that's a kiss of death and it's over. And but our guys just remain in the moment, one play at a time, every play independent of each other. And we strung together 2 drives. We got the big interception and won a football game. And so the feeling for that was just the highs and the lows of a football game. Maintaining composure, staying within the moment, and playing for 60 minutes, anything can happen. And there was nothing lucky about it. We won that football game, and that's what was really cool about it.
Zach Wilson had played in 9 preseason snaps since January before that game. What was it like for you watching him lead your team back from double digits on the road in his first playing experience in real action since going back to Buffalo?
No, it was great to see because, again, the first half really for him was pretty good. He had obviously the interception at the end of the half we all wish we could have back. I wish I could have, I want to be aggressive. I want to go gut people when we can, but at the same time, are we ready for that yet? I don't know. I probably could have easily called the run play and all that stuff. So I look back at me. He was doing a great job getting out of a lot of different bad situations in that first half, second and third quarter especially, using his mobility. Once the offensive line settled in and the protection started getting a lot better, he showed everybody what he's capable of. I mean, he was calm in the pocket, his feet were settled, he was delivering darts, leading his receivers, keeping the ball away from defenders, protecting his receivers from getting blown up in the pass game. I thought he was awesome. And to do it in that place, like I said, in that crowd, that damn song playing, going into the end zone with their Hall of Fame wall over there, which was quite impressive. Just, it was really, really cool to see him do that.
How much do you respect Mike McDaniel as a man? And then also, can you talk about how much you respect him as a coach?
We've been together, he told the story earlier in the week, but since 2006. In a massive staff room, just sitting across from each other. Stories, hanging out together from when we were single to actually being involved with people. And I met my wife, Sanat, at that time. But being on staff together at San Francisco, but always staying connected. He's a brilliant mind. He's a brilliant character also. He's such a good human. Just having all the experience and being able to talk so much football with him, especially when we got to San Francisco, to get his insight with regards to run game and protections and all that stuff. He's a guy that's always had my back and vice versa through the hardest times, being able to lean on each other through some of the most adverse moments you can possibly have as a football coach.
As a friend, you had to be happy that he got a head coaching job.
Oh, heck yeah.
But on the other side of the coin, kind of disappointed that he's inside the division here?
I hate it, but I'm happy for him. It's probably similar to the way Kyle and Sean are. They're very close with one another, and here they are, this past weekend playing on Monday Night Football. And it's never easy. It's but at the same time, tremendous amount of respect for him and what he's doing, and hopefully we can flip it to we're the top 2 teams in the division every year, and we can keep this rolling. So,
what's the challenge going to be like against this offense with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle? Teddy Bridgewater is a more than competent quarterback who's going to be filling in for Tua.
For sure. I mean, people can't forget Teddy with Denver last year beat us up pretty good too. So he is a very, very good quarterback. Has all the arm talent in the world to get the ball wherever it needs to go, especially with all their speed. I said it earlier in the week, that's like the 4x100 relay team. They are fast. And it's going to be a tremendous challenge with regards to playing discipline, playing with good eyes, and with all the misdirection that they have to keep the ball in front and make sure we're great tacklers and keep them out of the end zone.
Everybody knows that Hill's going to get the ball, but he still puts the numbers up. Why?
He's fast. They do a great job. They do a great job getting him in different spots, and he can take a little bubble and just his little burst of speed gets him 10 yards if you're off by a step. And in this league, with all the different things they got going, you're probably going to be lagging by a step or two here and there. But you can give up those 5 to 10 yarders as long as he doesn't beat you on the big one. And but at the same time, you've got to be able to play these guys aggressively too. So it's going to be a cat and mouse game in terms of how aggressive they are with how aggressive we are. And it's from that standpoint, I'm anticipating a really fun battle.
How exotic do they continue to be defensively, and what kind of pressure packages is your young quarterback going to see? And I wanted to ask you about the guys on the outside. Are they going to be seeing more man coverage than maybe they've seen early in the season?
Yeah, they are aggressive. They get a lot of praise for their zero package and the amount of pressure they try to put on a quarterback in the run game and all that stuff. So we got to be great communicators this week, obviously, with our offensive line, quarterback, receivers. Got to think fast, especially post snap with some of the disguises that they have. But Zach has played this defense. He played them last year, and we get the opportunity to go play him again. So we like the way he played last year, and it's gonna be fun to see how much he's grown.
After the break, we're back in the studio talking Jets football, and Brian Baldinger takes a look at what to expect out of Miami. Don't go away. Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the New York Jets.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen with Bart Scott and Eric Coleman. Let's take a big picture look at the division. The Jets are starting AFC East play. How important is this game today so this team can, in fact, get off on the right foot in division play?
Oh, this is a very important game. One, you're defending your home turf. You have to defend the turf. You're playing against a divisional opponent as well. So you have to establish your dominance at some point in time. The Jets defense is primed and ready to go. They have the cornerbacks to match up with the wide receivers with the speed of this Dolphins wide receiving core. And the two safeties, Jordan Whitehead and LaMarcus Joyner, are savvy enough. They're ball hawks. They make great plays on the ball. This is the right combination in the back end for the Jets to compete with the Dolphins. Right, the Dolphins are primed for the picking right now, and it's going to be the Jets that come out with the win.
Sexy Rexy used to say, when it's tough on everybody else, it's just right for us. And you talk about the front seven of this defense, understanding what they have on the outside. Waddle and Tyreek Hill may be the best duel, definitely one of the most explosive duels in the NFL. But this is where, you talk about, Robert Saleh and his defensive line and the pride he takes in it. This is the time when the heavy lifting is for them. You're going to have to stop them in a light box. They're one of the bottom teams in rushing in the NFL. You're going to have to, use all your other resources to make sure that the ball doesn't go over your head. If the ball doesn't go over your head, you're going to have a tremendous chance and a great opportunity to win and shock the NFL.
Great stuff, fellas. For more on that explosive Miami passing attack and those exotic blitz schemes on the defensive side of the ball, here's Brian Baldinger.
This is Baldy's Breakdown.
Even with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, let's get to know the Miami Dolphin personnel. At the bottom is Tyreek Hill. In the slot is Trent Sherfield. That's Mike Gesicki, the tight end, going in motion. And at the very top is Jalen Waddle. And then going in motion out of the backfield is Raheem Mostert. Most of the passes the Dolphins attempt are to those 5 receivers. And at the top, Jalen Waddle is excellent after the catch. He gets the top flight speed in a hurry, averaging over 18 yards a catch. And at the other side is down at the bottom is Tyreek Hill. He simply can run by any defense and any player in this league. Like, his explosive speed is second to none. But the other part of it is he's got excellent hands. Even with great coverage right there, he still finds a way to bring that ball in. Vertical speed as good as anybody and great leaping ability. And by the way, Teddy Bridgewater just threw that ball 65 yards in the air. Now, the other part to this offense is they will clear out the field, get all verticals, and then get Tyreek Hill underneath, because he's just as fast going horizontal as he is going vertical. And right here, all he's looking for is an opening. He's just looking for an opening to turn it up. They'll give you, especially on third downs, this blitz zero look. The defenders on the receivers play off, and they put 8 up at the box, at the line of scrimmage, and you kind of got to guess who's coming and who's dropping. And all they're trying to do is get speed to the quarterback, to get the ball and affect the quarterback. Like if you watch this from the end zone, same play, watch number 8 to your left in the orange shoes and gloves, Javon Holland. He's going to duck underneath both the left tackle and the running back, and he's getting to the backside right there of Josh Allen. And they got themselves great field position for the offense. They scored a touchdown.
Coming up, Ethan and Caroline give us the morning tea, followed by final thoughts from the studio on today's matchup with the Dolphins.
You know what week 5 means, Ethan?
I think it means it's another great opportunity for the New York Jets.
Okay, you're not wrong, but it also is the first AFC East matchup. Dolphins coming to MetLife.
Well, Robert Saleh did talk about bridging the gap in the AFC East. Starts in a couple hours.
It does. Okay, we're gonna start off with the good omen like we always do.
Bring it.
The Jets rank 6th in rushing defense in terms of yards per carry in the entire NFL.
That's a great stat, and it's big for today because the Dolphins 31st in the NFL in terms of rushing offense. Miami also one of 2 teams in the National Football League to not rush for 90 yards in a game this season.
Dang.
That's mostly because Tyreek Hill's on board. Tyreek Hill leads the league in receiving yards, 20-yard receptions, and 50-yard receptions.
Okay, I know everyone's nervous about Tyreek Hill, but someone who isn't, Sauce Gardner. He says he's excited to go up against him. He's faced a lot of fast receivers, especially in college, including Jamison Williams. He said maybe he's not as fast as the Cheetah, but he's still excited to go up against him, and he's really confident in his skill set.
Look, the Dolphins push the ball downfield, but don't sleep on the Jets' explosive plays. Right now, the green and white tied for 5th in the NFL in terms of explosive plays, which are rushes of at least 12 yards and passes of at least 16.
Okay, I like that. You know what else I like?
An omen sandwich?
Yes, I do. The Dolphins have struggled on the road in the division. In the last 10 seasons, they're only 10-20.
I like the sound of that.
Me too.
I think that's the T.
I think it is.
This segment is brought to you by HCL, Supercharging Progress.
Eric Allen, Bart Scott, Eric Coleman inside the studio. The Jets have to defend against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle today. Bart, you think it all starts up front on the edges. Let's get into it.
Well, absolutely. You talk about the Jets, they're going to have to stop them with a light box, but you got to have pass rush integrity as well. It's very important for you to have pass rush integrity because this team is designed to be able to make off-schedule plays. You talk about 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL. You don't want to put your corners in a bind, making them have to, defend for more than 4 seconds. So to do that, you have to make Teddy Two Gloves throw the ball out of a well. To do that, you need edges. So if I'm a pass rush, we're going to let Eric Coleman be Carl Lawson because they got the same arm size. I'll be Jermaine Johnson or Jacob Martin on the outside.
And I'm going to be Teddy Two Gloves without the gloves.
Exactly, Teddy Two Gloves without the gloves. So what I'm really talking about is making sure that they don't get nosy if I'm the outside pass rusher and stepping inside. That step inside is going to allow a path for Teddy Two Gloves to get out of the pocket and buy time to make those off-schedule plays. Also putting the safeties and the linebackers in a bind because they're a threat to run the ball and throw the ball. So what you want to make sure is make them one-dimensional. You want to make sure that once you get past quarterback depth, you recognize that and Teddy Two Gloves decides to step up, you have to make sure you hurry up and spin back as he steps up to come in to make sure that you can get the ball out from behind. Or the last thing that goes through the hole when somebody's trying to step up is his leg. So you either get the tackle or you go for the violent, chop attempt to try and get the ball, out so you can get extra possessions for your team. It's important that you set edges. It's already hard enough for the corners and safeties and linebackers to keep up with this fast team. You don't want to give them any extra time. You want Teddy Two Gloves to feel like he's in a well and under duress and like the walls are closing in on him because our 2 tackles are doing a tremendous job in pushing the pocket from the inside.
Yeah, Quinnen Williams having a great season, no doubt about that. You played safety. What did Joyner and Whitehead have to do today? Last week against Steelers, they were great. 3 interceptions. Joyner himself had 4 PDs, but a different animal with the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, it's a different animal, but they have to continue to play with the integrity of the defense. Keep your depth, but don't worry about getting too deep. A lot of times when you're playing against speed, you want to get a mile back. But what that does, it creates separation between the safeties and the linebackers, and that's a big window of opportunity for Tyreek Hill to catch a dig, turn it from a 10-yard catch to an 80-yard play. Continue to play aggressive, make plays on the ball like they've been doing all season, and they're going to have a great outcome.
The Jets open up division play today at MetLife Stadium. Will they move to 3-2? We're about to find out.